My name is Chris Njoku. Today we'll be looking at answering some questions on Excel operators and beginner functions. This is to help us move further in our quest to become highly proficient in Excel skills. Now, let's look at this data before us. We have two columns, column A and column B, and then the headings for A and B are expenses and amount respectively. We want to use this data to calculate the total expenses for the month by adding up the expenses listed above, and then also calculate the net profit for the month by subtracting the total expenses from the sales revenue. And then the third question we'll be taking care of is to calculate the monthly profit margin as a percentage of sales revenue by dividing the net profit by the sales revenue and multiplying by 100. That is to use the 100 and then get the percentage. So now, without wasting much of our time, let's get this done. For the very first question, we are going to drop our cursor on total expenses and then calculate the total expenses. We're going to use the sum function equals sum, and then we select from cell B2 to B6, and then we hit our enter key. So this is the total expense. So moving forward now, the next one we're going to be looking at is to calculate the net profit. So for us to calculate the net profit, we drop our cursor on cell B9 and say equals. The net profit here will be B7 minus B8. So we hit our enter key. So that is the net profit. And then the next thing we're going to be looking at for is the profit margin in percentage. For us to get the profit margin, we say equals, and then we click on B9, which is the net profit, and then divide it by B7, which is our sales revenue. The profit margin is B9 divided by B7, which is our net profit divided by our sales revenue. And then we have to convert this to percentage. So what we do is that we can just press our shift key a little bit, and then we'll bring in the multiplication sign, which is the asterisk. You press your shift key and then press 8 on your keyboard. So what I'm trying to say is that you hold down your shift key and then you click on 8. That is where your asterisk will come from. And then you bring in the 100 that represents percentage. You hit your enter key. So you have seen that the profit margin in percentage is 13% of the sales revenue. That is the profit margin. Now, I see a lot of questions about signs and then currency um, signs for different. I see a whole lot of questions on how to bring in currency to ourselves. This is just what you do. You select the entire data that you want to bring currency into, and then you hit your home tab and then come down here and change this to currency. So this is it. It will appear in your currency. You can see it is now in naira. However, if you don't want it in naira, if you want it in another currency, let's say you need it in dollars, you go this way. You click your home tab and then you click on this drop down, come down and click on more number formats. And so when you do that, you're going to see it like this. This is symbol. You can see this is the naira sign. So if you want to change it to US dollar, you click on this drop down and then scroll till you find the US dollar. You can see US dollar in English. So this is his English US dollar. You click on it and then click OK. You can see all of this has now taken the form of dollar. So that is how to go about that. Now, the next thing we're going to be looking at is a little bit more advanced than this. So we're going to look at another question. So let's look at this sheet 2 and then look at the data here. This one will be a little bit more tricky than the first one, but it is still very simple if you give it your time. The idea is just to push you a little bit harder so that you learn the skills in a very short time. Now, look at the data before us. We can see several columns. A, B, C, D, E, F are all columns, and then you see the headings there: employee name, monthly salary, sales revenue, completed projects, bonus percentage, and then total earnings. The questions we are going to be answering from this data are: A, you can see total earnings for each employee, which includes their monthly salary and bonus percentage. That is the first question. Then another question is to obtain the bonus amount, which is the product of the employee's monthly salary and bonus. And then the third is, what is the average bonus percentage for all employees? Then question D is saying, what is the total bonus amount for all employees? E is saying employee with the highest total earnings. And F is saying who is the employee with the lowest total earnings. So in order to get this going, we quickly start with the very first questions. So we drop our cursor on F2 and then we say equals B2, which is the monthly salary, and then plus, and then we say bracket open. We also go again with B2 and then multiplied by E2. Then we'll close our bracket. So now this is the explanation. The question says, what is the total earnings for each employee, which includes their monthly salary and bonus? Now, the monthly salary of this very first person on the list, John, is 5,000. Now, after obtaining the monthly salary of John, we now need to know the percentage of the bonus that is accruable to John. And for us to get the percentage, which is 10% here, we have to get the exact amount of the bonus, which is applying the 10% bonus to the monthly salary, which means we need to obtain 10% of the 5,000 that John is earning. That is the 10% we're talking about. We need to get the 10% of John's 5,000. So in order to get that, we multiply the percentage, which is 10%, by the amount, which is 5,000. So that is why you see me open up a bracket and then type B2 again, multiply by E2. B2 is the salary. And to get the bonus in amount, not in percentage now, we need to multiply by the 10% that is accruable to John. So we hit our enter key. You can see that his total earning is 5,500. So we can drag down to get for other employees. So the next question we're moving into is the bonus amount, which is the product of the employee's monthly salary and bonus. Now we have obtained the monthly salary of John, which is 5,500. We have obtained the monthly salary of John. So the next thing we need to do now is to get the bonus amount, which is the product of the employee's salary and bonus. How do we go about that? We drop our cursor on G2 and then we say equals B2, which is the salary, multiplied by E2, which is the bonus. And then we hit our enter key. You can see that is showing us 500. If you actually do the subtraction, if you subtract the monthly salary from the total earnings, you are going to get 500. So what do? You drag down. So that is for that. And then the next question is average bonus percentage for all employees. So in order to get that, we drop our cursor on E6 and then we say equals average and then E2 to E5, which is from this to this. We close our bracket and then we hit our enter key. So the average bonus percentage for all the employees is 9%. That is the average bonus in percentage. Now the next question is D, say total bonus amount for all employees. So in order to obtain that, we drop our cursor, say total bonus amount for all employee. Of course, we have seen the individual bonus amount for the employees 500, 364, 32, and 294. So the total will be equals sum and then G2 to G5. We hit enter key. So that is the total bonus amount. So E is saying employee with the highest total earnings. For us to obtain that, we just drop our cursor on cell H8. So this is H, and then we'll come to 8. So here we'll now say equals max, because we're looking for maximum. And then we say maximum of what? Maximum of between F2 and this is F2. So F2 and F5. So the maximum is between cell F2 and F5. That's where we are to obtain our maximum from. And then we hit our enter key. The maximum there is 5,500. Of course, if you look at it very well, you know that that is what is obtainable. You can type max here so that I will not make mistake. So the last is employee with the lowest total earnings. You can just say mean here. I will say equals mean. Then we select from F2 to F5 and then it gives us 4,494. Of course, when you look at this series, you know that is the list. So this is just how to start building confidence with analyzing data. Ordinarily, looking at these questions, if you are not careful, you might think, wow, this is very difficult. How do we go about that? But you can see that everything I've done here, they are very simple. Just for you to settle down, look at the question, and then also think of what is obtainable. In this video, we have been able to use operators and beginner stage functions to play around and then get some analysis done. Thank you very much for making our time to see this video. And then I'm going to encourage you to go to YouTube and then search for simplifier.com. That is my YouTube channel. You can see a whole lot of videos that are there. Watch them and then grow in your Excel and general tech skills. Thank you very much for watching.